Look at what AFPA has contributed since it was invoked. There's increasing stability. The overall security situation in the Northeast states have improved substantially since 2014. Last 6 years have witnessed a significant decline in insurgency related incidents by almost 70%. Year 2020 has recorded the lowest insurgency related incidents and casualty among the civilians and SF in the last 2 decades. The successes achieved by the security forces would not have been possible without the freedom provided by the AFP. Breaking of cohesion amongst the insurgent groups. Efforts of the Government of India and the SF have been successful in breaking cohesion among the Indian insurgent groups. This has also helped in dissipation of combat strength of these individual groups, thereby reducing their bartering power or negotiating power with the government. Surrenders. The year 2021 has witnessed surrender by all Karbi insurgent groups in Assam and prominent insurgency leaders of NSC and KYA joining the peace process. Development work. The presence of armed forces in various parts of the Northeast region under ASPA has helped to sustain various developmental projects and activities undertaken under the aegis of the central and the state government. The increase in connectivity, communication infrastructure in various parts of Assam and Meghalaya over the last few years stands testimony to the fact. Now let's talk of the reasons why the continued necessity of AFPA in the Northeast is required. You see, we must understand the dynamic operational environment which is still manifesting in the Northeast. Despite the successes enumerated earlier, the situation in Northeast still remains complex and is yet to stabilize. The large quantity of arms and ammunition held with the number of groups operating in the Northeast region remains an issue of concern. Majority of the groups in Northeast region are involved in smuggling and other illegal activities and extortion networks, which have entrenched their existence in the region. The porous borders with Myanmar and the ethnic similarities of either side of the border, coupled with the volatile situation in Myanmar, have also contributed towards consolidation of positions by various valley-based insurgency groups along the international Indian-Myanmar border, raising concern on their strengths in future. In view of the above, the situation in Northeast remains far from normal, necessitating deployment of Indian Army for management of the situation. There are certain operational imperatives also which the Indian Army has to undertake if it has to remain deployed and in the Northeast. One is int collection and surveillance. Int collection or intelligence collection is one of the most important steps for any successful counterinsurgency operation. Int collection is an intensive and complicated process which requires surveillance over several sources, which may include overground workers and civil supporters. This basic necessity for conduct of hard-hitting operations without collateral damage is only possible within the ambit of AFPA when you have got credible hard intelligence. Loss of surprise. Surprise is a very important element for successful CI operations. ASPA provides the necessary powers to ensure no loss of surprise for the armed forces who can launch operations without sharing it with the civil administration or with the police on hard intelligence, because then with leakage of information the loss of surprise will result in the operations not fructifying or not reaching a logical conclusion. Crowd control measures. CI ops are very delicate operations requiring tactical acumen of the highest order. Many a time, in order to maintain surprise and separate the insurgents from their support bases, as also isolate them to avoid collateral damage, requires extraordinary crowd control measures. These measures can only be implemented under the ambit of AFPA. Tactical initiative. If ASPA is repealed or diluted, it is likely due to fear of prosecution. The performance of the security forces in CIOP will be adversely affected, and the terrorists or insurgents will seize the initiative. Without these powers, CEOs, commanding officers, and young company commanders are likely to follow a wait and watch approach rather than actively pursuing hardcore terrorists with enthusiasm and risk being embroiled in long drawn litigation, which may be based on false allegation or could be biased. So, if you consider the armed forces as the final bastion, as the last resort which a state would go to maintain law and order within your own within any particular region or maintain the sanctity of the borders, then there is definitely a need for continuation of